Hey y'all, welcome back to Dom Delivers. You already know what time it is. I'm here to drop some gems, keep it real, and help you become your best self. I'm your girl, Dom, your host, your cheerleader, and sometimes your wake-up call, because let's face it, we all need one every now and then. Last week we talked about building a relationship with yourself, spending time solo, healing and thriving, and the way y'all hit me up, showing off your little solo dates on your journal sessions, trust and believe, my heart is full. But today we're stepping outside of ourselves and we're taking a deep dive and getting to know the people around you. Who's in your circle? Who you building with? Who's holding you back? And most importantly, how do you know if your tribe is really your tribe? Are they pushing you to be better? Are they inspiring you? Are they matching your energy? This episode is all about leveling up in your relationships, cutting off that dead weight, and attracting the right energy. So, you know the deal. Grab your tea, your coffee, your wine, whatever's your vibe. Let's talk about why your circle matters. Your circle is so important. You ever heard that quote that says, you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with? When I first heard that, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I had to take a second and think about it. Like, who are the 5 people that I'm with all the time? Are they uplifting me or are they dragging me down? Are they inspiring me to grow or keeping me stuck in the same old raggedy patterns? Y'all know I come with a story time. A few years ago, I thought I was in a best friend group, but all they did was complain. We sit around, we vent about work, relationships, and life, but we never talked about solutions. Never. It felt good to let it out, trust and believe, because baby, I had some things going on, but after a while, I realized nothing was changing. And then I met a friend who every time I complained would hit me with the question, okay, so what's the plan? What you gonna do about it? At first, baby, I was annoyed. Like, yo, can I just vent? But then I realized that this friend in particular was teaching me something very, very invaluable. That growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. So if your circle isn't challenging you, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not a circle, you're in a cage. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. If your circle is not challenging you, it's not a circle, it's a cage. Here's a quick little takeaway. Here's what I want you to do. Here's what I'm encouraging you to do. I want you to write down the name of 5 people that you value, that you're close to, and ask yourself 3 questions. 1, do they inspire me? 2, do they support me? And 3, do they hold me back? If the answer is no for the most of them, then baby, trust me, we got work to do. You know what, girl, if you're hearing this and you like what you hear thus far, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Now, I know it's not easy to spot that toxic energy, but there's some red flags, even in our friend circle. So you got to ask yourself, how do I know if somebody in my circle, someone on my tribe is toxic and just not aligned with my growth? Here's what I like to call the big 3. They don't celebrate your wins. Y'all ever notice that sometimes people be real quiet when you shining? Like, that's jealousy, baby, and we don't need that energy around. They drain you. If every time you hang out and you leave them feeling exhausted, trust and believe that's a sign. I'm a firm believer that relationships, whether platonic or romantic, they should energize you and they should not deplete you. And lastly, you know, we talked about boundaries a few episodes back. If you communicated that you had boundaries and folks aren't respecting them, then you know what? They're crossing the line and they gotta go. But let me tell you a little story. I had a friend, T was the life of the party, always cracking jokes, but when it came to my goals, crickets. One day I told her about a bid project that I was working on at work and she hit me with the, so why you doing all that? You should just chill. And that was the moment I realized, yo, sis wasn't rooting for me at all. And I felt like, listen, I might have to cut you off. So cutting people off isn't easy, but sometimes it's necessary. I know sometimes you're like, how do I attract the right people? Because, you know, we already talked about identifying the toxic energy, but now we got to figure out, how do I attract the tribe, find the people that's aligned to my vibe and my vision? I'm going to give you the blueprint. You got to be the energy that you want to attract. You can't expect to find motivated, positive people, kind people if you're walking around bitter and stagnant. First things first, you got to work on yourself. Secondly, you have to put yourself in the right space. You're not going to find your tribe if you're always going to the same place with the same people. I need you to join a club, take a class, head up a networking event that, you know, aligns with your goals and interests. I feel like I always dreamed of being like a healthier, skinnier version of me for years. I did everything. Walking, not eating after 7, reducing the amount of carbs that I ate. So, you know, I was eating out of a kid plate, small protein, small veggies, small rice. I was hitting the gym. I was doing whatever I felt like was necessary. I was just imitating the person next to me. It was like I was throwing darts and just hoping that they would stick. Then one day, I met this girl. B was fine. You know, she was in shape, glowing, had it all together, and she was a teacher like me. So I was like, all right, boom. I'm going to do what I always feel like I do. You know, if you see something, say something, like on the subway. So I said something. I pulled up on her. I was like, yo, B, how you juggling this and still look good? B definitely gave me some gems. I was like, what's your secret? She was like, listen, I try to prioritize my nutrition and my health by staying hydrated, eating smaller portions, finding better alternatives to snacks. Now, y'all know, baby, I love me a good Lay's potato chip. The yellow bag, my favorite. She was like, instead of reaching for those chips, I'm gonna give you a better snack. Buy some bell peppers, red, yellow, green, and orange. Cut them suckers up like thin little slices so they can look like the veggie straws. And get you some Greek yogurt. Once you get the Greek yogurt, add the everything but the bagel season from Trader Joe's, and baby, it's gonna do something good for you. So at first, y'all know I was like, peppers as a snack, but then I tried it and now it's my go-to. It's definitely my go-to. But I felt like this relationship that I have with B is just not about the food. It's the way how B keeps me accountable. When I'm slipping or I feel like my body's off, B's the first person I call. B's gonna keep me in check. She gonna remind me as to, girl, why'd you start? So meeting her wasn't like on accident. I definitely learned some tips, but I feel like it's also about finding the person or the people that push you to be better where you can't do for yourself. I feel like everybody needs a B in their life. If you're listening to this and you're struggling to groove and maybe your B isn't out there, you gotta just step up and be your own B. Either way, it's gonna be hard because one day you're gonna be like, yo, all this hard work was not in vain, and then it finally clicks and you realize that you had all that gumption, all that strength to be great, because it really lies in you. Lastly, I want to encourage you to be open. Sometimes your tribe shows up in unexpected places. It could be that coworker that you always really say hi to, but you know, y'all not really close. Or it might be your close friend who encourages you to stay open and curious. Here's a challenge for the week. Here's the ask. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take one step closer or one step forward in finding a tribe. I think you should join a new group, reach out to somebody you admire, or just be intentional with your energy. Whatever it is, just let me know how it goes. Reach out to me on the socials. Now let's talk about our current friends, because you know you might not want to throw them away because you've been friends with Bob for the past 14 years, but sometimes the people in your life might need a little leveling up, a little push. So here's how I suggest you do it. Communicate. Communicate. Sometimes people don't know what you need from them, so have an honest conversation about where you are and how they can support you. Number 2, set goals together. Whether you want to hit the gym, start a side hustle, read a book, I feel like having a shared goal definitely strengthens the bond. And lastly, celebrate each other. Make it a habit to hype your friends up. You know, I'm good for a Wednesday text message that says I'm proud of you, because I know it goes a long way. Let me give a shout out to one of my best friends, Cinderella, who every single time I drop a podcast, my girl calls me or sends me a text message, because she's a firm believer in giving me my flowers. She hypes me up as if I just won a Grammy. And I feel like that's the kind of energy that we need. So I appreciate my girls so much. Your circle matters more than you think. Stop the red flags and protect your energy. Attracting your tribe and being intentional by putting yourself out there. And you can level up your current friend group by sharing what you need, shared goals, and just loving on them if they love on you back. So like I said earlier, your vibe attracts your tribe. Work on your vibe and the right people will show up. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share the episode. Tag me in any activities that you're doing that we deem as tribe building worthy. Until then, stay real, stay you, enjoy. Peace.